It's no secret that the United States has a very close relationship with Israel and a very unusual one. And now people are starting to notice this. It's very unusual because it feels like Israel has a lot of power in our government, and we're also giving Israel billions and billions of dollars to do things that doesn't even align with our beliefs and doesn't really help us at all. Now, what we're going to watch is a lot of young kids are starting to notice this, and they're starting to follow politicians all around, even at Turning Point USA events. These where these videos are going to come from, and they're confronting the politicians. They even confronted JD Vance. That's the first video we're going to watch. And they just ask them these questions. None of them are really being disrespectful. Maybe the last video we watched, but they're asking these politicians, why are we doing all of this? So the first video is JD Vance being asked this question.
I'm a Christian man, and I'm just confused why that there's this notion that we might have owe Israel something, or that they're our greatest ally, or that we have to support this multi-hundred-billion-dollar foreign aid package to Israel to cover this, to quote Charlie Kirk, ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm just confused why this idea has come around, considering the fact that not only does their religion not agree with ours, but also openly supports the prosecution of ours.
Yeah, so
The applause says it all.
let's say a few things about this. First of all, when the President of the United States says America first, that means that he pursues the interests of Americans first. That is our entire foreign policy. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to have alliances, that you're not going to work with other countries from time to time. And that is what the president believes, is that Israel, sometimes they have similar interests to the United States and we're going to work with them in that case. Sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. And this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the president of the United States could only get that peace deal done by actually being willing to apply leverage to the state of Israel. So when people say that Israel is somehow manipulating or controlling the president of the United States, they're not controlling this president of the United States, which is one of the reasons why we'd be able to have some of the success that we've had in the Middle East. Now, you ask about, sort of Jews disagreeing with Christians on certain religious ideas. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the realities is that Jews do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. Obviously, Christians do believe that. There are some significant theological disagreements between Christians and Jews. My attitude is, let's have those conversations. Let's have those disagreements when we have them. But if there are shared areas of interest, we ought to be willing to do that too. For example, one thing I really, really care about is the preservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Christians believe that that is the site where Jesus Christ was crucified, and also that his tomb is right there as well. My attitude is, if we can work with our friends in Israel to make sure that Christians have safe access to that site, that's an obvious area of common interest. I am fine with that. What I'm not okay with is any country coming before the interests of American citizens, and it is important for all of us, assuming we're American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's what we're going to do. That's what we try to do every single day, I promise you.
Look, it's a very political answer for saying, just dodging the question. And I respect him for saying what he said, saying about the church and the preservation of that, and that the Jews don't have the same beliefs as the Christians and all of that stuff. It's very valid. But the questions that these kids are asking, you're going to see a very common pattern that they just can't answer these questions straight up. So now we have Benny Johnson, Eric Trump, and Laura Trump.
Mr. Trump and Ms. Trump, I'd like to ask about your father's relationship with Israel. He's taken over $230 million from pro-Israel groups. During the summer against Iran, even though he advised against it, Israel still attacked Iran, and the U.S. still bombed on behalf of Israel. Your father's frustrations with Netanyahu have been made clear when he cursed on national TV over the situation. Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty. Israel is a nation where Christians are constantly under attack in both Gaza and the West Bank. We talk about America first and defending Christians, but how can we do this if we align ourselves with a nation that does not do that itself?
Again, the applause. It says everything. This is at a Turning Point USA.
There's no question my father's had frustration. In fact, I think he's had frustration throughout the whole conflict with both sides. At the same time, make no mistake, you have a nation that is chanting death to America every single day on the streets of Tehran. You have a nation that will develop a nuclear weapon, and you have a nation that will use that nuclear weapon against the Western way of life. There's no question about it. You have a nation that will use proxies around the world, whether it's Yemen, whether it's a lot of other ones, to inflict serious harm on this nation, and they don't hide it. They don't hide it. In fact, it's really interesting. About a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, they put out, the Ayatollah in Iran put out an emoji, a little short video clip of a drone hovering over my father's head as he played golf. This was literally posted on the Ayatollah's, Twitter page, following my father around a golf course with a crosshair right on top of him, as if they wanted to assassinate him and as if they wanted to hurt him. Guys, Iran wanted to destroy our way of life. They wanted to hurt us. They wanted to inflict real pain. What I can tell you about my father is, in terms of Israel, he wants a peaceful Middle East. He wants peace around the world. He wants to end the killing. He did that with India and Pakistan. He did that, obviously, you saw what he did with Cambodia and Thailand. He's tried to stop every conflict because he's sick and tired of the death and destruction. So there have been times that he got mad at Netanyahu. There's plenty of times where he's gotten mad at Putin. There's times where he's been mad at Zelensky. And he uses all of that as a tool to stop pain and destruction and death of people that are our age, your age in most cases, who have become political pawns and who have been marched into literally trenches and killed by the millions. And that's what my father wants to see end right this second. And that's why he's worked so hard for peace around the world. In fact, Donald Trump is the only president in the United States history that's never brought America to war. And I hope he keeps following in that crusade.
In response to the nukes from Iran, Israel has nuclear weapons and is not a part of the IAEA, unlike Iran. And it's just sad to see, because I've never seen the American president get treated the way he does by the Israeli government.
Here's what I'll add. Do we or do we not have phase one of a peace agreement in the Middle East right now? Nothing is ever going to be perfect, but I'll tell you what, this president works with what he has. He believes in peace through strength. And whether we're talking about in the Middle East, whether we're talking about a 40-year war like Armenia and Azerbaijan, as Eric just pointed out, a 5-day war in Thailand and Cambodia, this is a president of peace. And sometimes you have to be slightly unconventional with how you get there. You use what you have. That is certainly what he's been able to do. And I would just say, peace around the world sounds pretty good to me, and that's what this president is bringing.
Look, I respect their responses, because it's got to be very hard for them to respond to these questions. Just look at his face. They're not happy about these questions. Everyone knows what's going on. And look, there is a peace plan going on right now, and it is holding on by a little tiny piece of thread. Again, I respect their responses, but I'm telling you that the power that these questions carry at these kind of events, they can't escape this anymore. This is a real thing, and they're being asked real questions, and they're frustrated. And hopefully that motivates them to do something about it. Next, we have Glenn Beck. This video is a little bit longer. I actually haven't seen this one. I just saw it on Twitter. Glenn Beck posted this on X himself, so he's probably really proud of what he said to this kid. But let's take a look.
Aviation student here at the University of North Dakota. And I really liked your point, question everything. And one question I have for you, Glenn, is a lot of young American and conservatives are starting to notice that Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions of dollars. We have lost American servicemen. And the worst part I think about it is the fact that millions of refugees are coming to the Western world through America and Europe, are degrading our cities, destroying our Western values. The U.S.
Can I wait? If you have more, let me just, because that's a long list and I have a very short attention span. So let me just answer some of those here and then you can continue your encyclopedia of questions, and I appreciate it. Let's see. Israel has a lobby. Yes. And you know who has a bigger lobby all around the world? The United States of America. It is in each country's best interest to lobby. Don't blame Israel. Blame our own politicians if they act upon it outside of the United States' interest. Because I can tell you, we're lobbying everybody else. And they will...
First or Israel first?
No one's clapping. No one's clapping for your point.
First or Israel first? It's an easy question. Charlie was America first. What are you?
Charlie was starting to notice about the Israel lobby.
Could I answer my question? Could I answer the question, please? First of all, I'm an American first and always. But the reason we have refugees all around the world is not Israel. It is a global system of people trying to take down the West. They are trying to just hold your peace for a minute. This is why I said, Shirley, I can't do this. What is happening is we have Islamists occupying our countries. The next war that you will face. You know what our first foreign war was? Against the Barbary pirates. They were the Islamic pirates, okay? Jefferson, when he ended that war, because nobody had the stomach for it, he said, I gotta warn you, everyone should read the Quran. He actually had I have a copy of it, printed Quran, printed for Americans to read. He didn't put out little teeny clips. He wanted every American to read the Quran. He said, because I'm telling you now, this is our first foreign war. But if we don't pay attention, I guarantee it will be our last foreign war. That is coming, whether you like it or not. That is a plan well laid out. And yes, George Soros is a big part of it. I was the man who taught America about George Soros. One last thing. Here's my problem with this whole thing. Is it okay to set babies on fire? Is it okay to rape babies? Is it okay to kill people and have glee? Hear me out. Oh, dear God. Dear God Almighty. I will pray for you. Where was I? I don't have a problem with people saying, I have a problem with Israel. Because I'm not fighting Israel's wars. I don't want to fight Israel's war. I don't want to supply troops or arms. You can buy it. We'll sell it to you. But we're not going to fight your war. That's your war. But I believe Israel has a right to exist. I believe Jews have a right to live and not be hunted down. I know the history of the Middle East. They've been going through this forever. And even if we have a peace deal, I got news for you, gang. It's going to come undone at some point anyway. We're going to be facing the same thing over and over and over again because that's what it says in the Bible. It's going to happen. It's been going on for thousands of years. So I have no problem with you not liking what Israel is doing because I can understand it. I'm not asking for support on that. I am asking that you recognize that you are dealing with evil when you're talking about Hamas, not the Palestinian people, Hamas.
All right, so Israel has lobbies for all the countries around the world. They have lobbies for New Zealand, England, France. No Muslim has any lobbies. Another thing, you're talking about the stuff they don't teach in school. You're talking about one thing they don't teach in school. They don't teach about the USS Liberty, where Israel literally came, blew up an American ship because they want us to get in their war with Egypt. And they don't teach that in school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. Guys, let me leave you on this, because I'd like to turn this around so you believe me. It says, please wrap this up. I'll take one more question, but let me just say this. We must not divide. We must not divide ourselves. We cannot divide. I don't care if you like Israel. I really don't. Please recognize there is good and there is evil. I'm not saying the Jews are good or anything. You don't have to believe any of that. I do, but you don't have to. But recognize evil when you see evil. And what is happening with Islamists is evil. It is. Beyond that, let's just not divide ourselves. We need everyone on deck. Everyone. Last question.
Hey, sir, it's an honor. I have family that have been very long-time listeners of yours, and it's just crazy that you're here, you know. And I was going to come up here and ask you about Columbus Day and renaming it to Indigenous Peoples Day, but after that conversation, I just want to ask you, I completely agree with you that there's a ton of Islamist evil in the world, and they are a bigger enemy to the United States than Israel will ever will be. But I have a question. Why is there this societal taboo around criticisms of Israel?
You're standing here in a theater voicing this. Nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody's going to say anything. I'm going to answer you. We're having a great conversation. Where is the taboo?
The taboo is, for example, AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, but like the Australia lobby does. And it just
that should be changed. That should be corrected. Look, I am not going to say Israel should have any special privileges. None. Everyone should play by the rules, exactly the same rules, period. If they're not, that should be corrected. But let's correct those things. Let's not talk about snipers behind Charlie. Agreed. Good. Thank you.
Shout out to Glenn Beck for actually answering a lot of these questions. I mean, the hard-hitting stuff and the stuff that's true, he completely ignored, which is fine. I get it at an event like this. It wasn't like J.D. Vance, who completely just went around the question, or Eric Trump, who just went off a tangent on something else. You know, Glenn Beck actually said something, which is good to see. And I feel like these questions need to be had, right? I think there is something special about someone who is either, you know, pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, whatever it is. If these two can come together and have a conversation, have a beer together, and just have something respectful, rather than what you see realistically when people just start to hate each other. And like Glenn Beck said, we can't divide. That's what they want us to do. They want us to divide. Everyone's going to have an opinion about this topic. It's the most controversial topic in the world, and probably the biggest topic in the world right now. But let me just tell you something. If you're on the different side of someone you're speaking to, have a respectful conversation. Hear them out. Let them talk. Don't let your emotions get in the way. And I know that's very hard. Hear them out, listen to them, and have a peaceful conversation. It's okay to disagree. We're going to disagree on a lot of different topics. But what do you do after that? Do you attack? Do you grow hatred? Or you just listen to someone and agree to disagree? I think that's the most key thing. And I don't think that's being soft. I don't think that's, not addressing the conflict of what's going on or denying the truth. I think that when they divide us, they get more powerful and they can control us more. And that's the last thing that needs to happen right now.